I'm Rabbi Shmuley Boteach, and you're watching Taped with Rabbi Doug.
We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug on your TV tonight. But Daddy, I want to watch Monday Night Football.
Forget about Monday Night Football. There's no other thing we're going to watch on Monday but Rabbi Doug.
Yeah, Rabbi Doug on TV tonight. We're going to see Rabbi Doug. Oh, everybody talk about Doug.
Shalom and welcome to Taped with Rabbi Doug. We are here at the home of Dr. Julian Unger, who has invited Rabbi Chaim Kramer, who is here to speak to the community, and he is the director of the Breslov Research Institute in Jerusalem. And welcome from Israel to Chicago, Rabbi Kramer. And I think that when people in Chicago who don't know a lot about Hassidism, about much more than names and sounds, when they hear Breslov Chassidim, they think of music. And their connection, possibly, for those who are familiar with the Breslov Chassidim, is music. Tell me, what is the origin? Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, you speak about him in your book, Anatomy of the Soul, and the life of Reb Nosson, his disciple, in your book, Through Fire. Tell me a little bit about the origin of Reb Nachman and the Breslov Chassidim.
Rabbi Nachman was born in 1772 in the Ukraine. He's a great-grandson of the Baal Shem Tov. At a time when the Hasidic movement was beginning to wane, the Maggid of Mizrich, Baal Shem's follower, passed away a few months before Rabbi Nachman was born. A week after Rabbi Nachman was born, the Litvaks from Snagdim in Vilna issued a cherem against the Hasidim, an excommunication, and it was a very troublesome time for the Jewish nation during that period. And still, Rabbi Nachman followed in the traditions of his great-grandfather, of those masters who he studied from. He was privileged living in the Baal Shem Tov's house where he was born.
The Baal Shem Tov is the founder of Hassidism.
And living in that house, he was able to see all the leaders of the communities. The Hasidic masters they used to come pray at Baal Shem Tov's gravesite. So he met them all, and he said himself, hearing the stories of them, or about them, and the stories that they told, is what inspired him to seek greatness, to seek Hashem on the highest level possible. So Rabbi Nachman followed that tradition all the way through, with intensity of prayer, Torah study, and he grew to great heights. He established the Breslov Hasidus in a city called Medvedevka in the early 1790s. That's in the eastern Ukraine. It was in 1802 when he moved to Breslov, and nearby there was a city called Nemerov, where Reb Nosson, his closest disciple, was living at the time. And Reb Nosson heard of Rabbi Nachman. He knew of him, but it was too far away in the eastern Ukraine. This was more to the western Ukraine. And Reb Nosson began to visit Rabbi Nachman, and he found a mentor, one that would answer all the questions that he had in life and teach him how to grow spiritually.
Now, is it not true that Rabbi Nosson was actually the one who really spread Reb Nachman's word and made him so popular and so well known, and found the majority of his disciples and followers? Is that true?
It's in a way very true, but Reb Nosson did that only after Rabbi Nachman passed away. Mm-hmm. And it took him a few years to realize how potent his own strength was to be able to spread the Rebbe's teachings.
What would you say is the primary difference between the followers of Rabbi Nachman, the Breslov Chassidim, and other sects of Hasidus? What would you say is the main difference in their philosophies, in briefly, in their philosophies and their ways of thinking and observance?
I won't speak for the other Hasidim. I will speak for Breslov. Rabbi Nachman teaches about private prayer, private secluded prayer, that each and every person should offer to Hashem. This is spoken about in a lot of different writings, but Rabbi Nachman emphasized it. He emphasized the power of joy that we have to bring ourselves to greater levels. Though this is mentioned in many other writings, Rabbi Nachman was adamant about forcing oneself to joy, not just waiting for the moment, but rather making it happen. And some of the other teachings that he has that surround this idea: simplicity, acting with a very simple approach to life, avoiding sophistication whenever you can. These are some of the major teachings of Breslov, and the way Rabbi Nachman teaches it, it becomes an integrated manner, an integrated way of life, how you can really get through your day-to-day living, and really get to where you can and grow. And he told stories, and he had a different approach. His lessons, his lectures are structured in such a different manner than most of the other different Hasidus. That it's as deep as any page of Gemara. If you study it, you can go in many different ways with each one of his teachings. It's not just a good thought, as they say, something nice to work on, but rather it's a very deep flow of teaching that can go in any different manner whatsoever. We have begun translating the Likutei Moharan and presenting it with a running commentary. And in the running commentary, we basically follow one course. But many times we will divert to show that there's other ideas within the teaching. And it keeps on growing and growing and growing. So Rabbi Nachman's teachings are basically very potent, which they speak to us on every single level. And furthermore, they allow us the room to move within our own confinement. Each individual is different. We're not clones. We're very different, each and every one of us. You can't just put a black hat and jacket on someone and say you're a yeshiva guy now. It doesn't work. They may look like yeshiva guys, they may act like yeshiva guys, they may be yeshiva guys, but they're not the same. They're all different. And Rabbi Nachman addressed the individual, not just he spoke about it, he literally addresses the individuality of every single person. Everyone can find himself in Rabbi Nachman's teachings, and if he utilizes those teachings, he will grow spiritually. It's guaranteed.
Let me ask you this, back to my original thought. We've had on the show before the band Simply Tzfat, which plays Breslov music. We've had on, in a sense, so far we play a lot of Breslov music. What is the connection between music and especially these nigunim that are attributed to the Breslov Chassidim? What is the connection between music and the Breslov Chassidim?
Well, the music is really something that's connected to every Jewish soul. Kabbalistically speaking, there's 4 parts of Torah. There's the ta'amim, the cantillations. There's the nikudot, the dots, the vowel points. You have the crowns on certain letters, and you have the letters themselves. Then you have the letters. The 3 lower levels, the dots, the crowns, the letters themselves, can be visualized. The ta'amim, the cantillations, cannot. It's a much higher level. That's on the basic level of what music is all about. Music is something that's beyond the visualization of what a person can attain. It's something that reaches the highest. In Kabbalah, it's considered the highest level of the 4. Rabbi Nachman speaks about the power of song that could motivate the soul. It can reach into the soul and bring it out from the lowest depths to the highest levels. Music, for instance, if you're playing a guitar or a flute, what you're doing is you're moving the air about it. You're controlling the flow of the air. If you miss a note, it comes out bad. Right? If you play it regular, it comes out sweet sounding music. So Rabbi Nachman has a very long part of a lesson 54 in the Likutei Moharan, where he mentions this, and he explains the whole idea of music is just like when you play the instrument. You are filtering the good from the bad, so too that music affects your soul, where you could filter the good from bad. The music has the power to draw you up to the highest levels. That's the power of Nida. It has the power, many of the stories, and Rabbi Nachman's stories, speak about the power of song, especially the last story that he told with the 7 beggars, the last day of the 7 beggars, 6th day actually. He speaks there about the power of song to heal the princess in the story, which refers to the Jewish soul. We'll give you a contrast. If you'll notice that in the world of entertainment, music is ever present, and some of the greatest performers in history have influenced millions upon millions upon millions of people with their music. As a kid, I remember there was Elvis Presley, there was taboo, and then when I stopped listening to that music, there were the Beatles and U2, whatever it was. I just heard these names. I never heard them, whatever, but I did know of these things. You have today Michael Jackson, but you have all this power in music that people will follow these people to the ends of the world. To the ends of the world, literally. Right? Why? Why? Take a look at some of these performers. They're the lowest of the low. Right? You think about that for a moment. What kind of people are they? The Beatles introduced drugs with long hair to men and stuff like that, right? Michael Jackson, whatever's going on with him today, it's his business. But what happened to all these people? And millions upon millions, hundreds of millions of people have followed this music. Why is that? Because wherever the greater the power in good, spirituality, is the greater the effect of the other side, of the power of evil that could be projected from it. And therefore music is so powerful, such a powerful vehicle to bring a person to God, that these performers come up and they hide that power. They conceal it. Like there's a concealment of God, there's a revelation of God. Right? Real music in the temple, when they perform the sacrifices, there was music. The Levites used to play music to bring things up to God. Right? Because that's the power of music. It was a symphony. The symphony was to bring people to God, not to conceal it the way it is being done today. So that's the power of music. Breslov teaches make your connection to God. The most powerful vehicle is music, meditative songs and whatnot. Right?
Very good.
This is Mark Reitman and Yehuda Von Dar.
Thank you.
question is, you mentioned tonight about religion and spirituality and hisbodedus, and hisbodedus meaning talking to Hashem. Where, if at all, does meditation in the classical sense of the Western style meditation, does it fit into Breslov at all?
Not really, because let's say first of all that meditation is part of Judaism in many ways, and many of the earlier writings speak about setting time, even in the Mesilas Yesharim, the Ramchal 300 years ago, Rambam speaks about it, Chovos HaLevavos, I believe, speaks about it. But Rabbi Nachman spoke more about using the period of meditation to speak to Hashem, bring it out in speech. And what we have found, as Breslov, those who practice it, is that when you articulate a question or a sentence or a plea to Hashem, actually what you've done is taken the thoughts that you've had and clarified them. Many times you'll find people beginning to ask questions, and as they ask the question, they realize the answer. Correct? In the middle of formulating the question, you realize what the answer is. And that's basically what happens when you perform Rabbi Nachman's state of meditation, prayer to Hashem. What you're doing is you're taking the inner recesses of your mind and your heart, and you're articulating them, and you're becoming you have a much greater clarity of what's there than what you had before. It does not negate the concept of meditation as people know it. People want to meditate and clear their minds and whatnot. There's nothing that Rabbi Nachman teaches that would oppose that kind of an idea. Certainly not. And if that is what will help you connect to Hashem and connect to spirituality, then by all means go ahead and do it. By all means, right? But what we have learned in Rabbi Nachman, and you'll find this, and those who study the Likutei Moharan, which is Rabbi Nachman's major writing, his major lessons, you'll notice that the Rebbe focuses a lot upon the power of speech. I was debating whether to bring it in tonight, but it's several lectures unto itself. It's the power of speech, the way it's presented by the Rebbe. So what Rabbi Nachman is telling us is, and if you understand it Kabbalistically too, because Keter is the highest of level, it comes out in Malchut, all that energy expends and comes out, and it's revealed through Malchut, and Malchut is speech. So really, it's the power of speech that helps to clarify the person's problems or difficulties and confusions and doubts, and helps him reach the clarity with which he could go forward in life.
So my problem is that my worst enemy has always been my brain, and the chattering monkey in my brain, and my obsessions and my addictions and therefore for me to articulate in speech, in a sense, digs me deeper in the hole. That is, I'm still stuck in my patterns of thinking, whereas I want to not escape, but I want to try and walk through them to get beyond that, because these are just head games that I'm playing. And what I'm hearing from you is that in hisbodedus you're getting greater clarity. Are you saying greater clarity that's beyond what you have now? Because right now I'm just in that cycle.
Have more hisbodedus, you won't be in that cycle. True. No, that's what's going to happen. Rabbi Nachman says, all the doubts and difficulties, confusions and problems that you have in your mind, speak it out before Hashem. Release it. Release it. Today people use emails, they use recording messages. Nobody communicates anymore. The art of communication between people has been lost. Except, they used to write letters years ago. That's gone.
Right, but you're not just saying that this is an I-thou kind of, I could...
No.
I mean, you're not saying I could do the same if I had a good friend that I confided in.
Rabbi Nachman says, speak to God as if you would speak to a good friend that you would confide in.
But he's claiming that there's something that you will get back more than just speaking to.
Yeah, well, of course, you're speaking to a much greater person than the friend that you're confiding in. You're speaking to God. In other words, everything. Rabbi Nosson writes again and again, Rabbi Nachman says it, Rabbi Nosson expands upon it, get whatever is in your mind out. Release it. Release it. We have too much tension from today's day and age. The world is very, rush, stress, move, forward, whatever. You're not allowed to sit still. A cell phone, right? You have to be connected. You're not allowed to stop for yourself. I refuse to carry a cell phone when I'm home in Israel. Absolutely refuse. My family wants me. I refuse. I said the few minutes a day that I have between my office and my house, right? Or if I have to run around a little bit during the day, so I'm left with a little peace and quiet. Why should I give that up? Why should I give it up? I have a phone in my house. I have a phone in my office. For that hour, if they don't get me, the world is turned over. They're certainly not. The world existed 5,705 years until I was born. It'll exist very well after I'm gone. Right? The question is how it exists even while I'm here. Okay. But that's what's happening. Have a little peace and quiet. Get your mind in order, and you do that by having His presence. This is bothering you today. Hashem, this is what's bothering you today. Get rid of it. Once you unload it, it's not as great of a tension as it was before.
My next question has to do with a more fundamental issue, and that is that Orthodoxy today is so absolutely certain of itself. It is so absolutely convinced that it is absolutely right. I want to know, for those of us who live in this space of doubt, and this eternal doubt, this existential doubt, does Rabbi Nachman talk to those types of people?
First of all, definitely. Definitely. Second of all, I don't know if that Orthodoxy feels so secure. Is it that secure? That's my question. Because there's a lot of problems that develop along the way. And Rabbi Nachman addresses the problems basically on an individual level. It's not that we have a system and the system is going to work. We have a system, the Torah. And the Torah does work. No question about it. But each and every one of us bears that responsibility to make it work. And that's not what's happening today. A lot of people says this is the system, this is the way we do things, and people go on with life. It's not the way it's supposed to be. It's not the way. What has to be done is the way you see it in Rabbi Nachman, that each individual has to develop according to his or her strengths. That's what religion is all about.
But if he's stressing emunah all the time and faith, what does he say to those who live in doubt? What is his message, or what does he talk to them? How does he deal with doubt?
First he says, well, one way he says it is the word kashya, which means question, right? The acronym of the words Shema Hashem Koli Ekra. God, listen to my voice as I call out to you. I have doubts, Hashem. I have doubts. You're allowed to say to God that you have doubts. I mean, that's what the world was created for. It was created, there's a balance between good and evil. You have to choose good over evil. How are you going to choose if you don't have doubts which is good, which is evil?
Well, I can't thank you enough for coming to Chicago, for sharing your words with us. I wish you much success in your spreading the words of Torah, and you're spreading the thoughts and messages of Rabbi Nachman and Hassidism. And I can only hope that it should bring a Geula Shlema and peace to the world. Thank you again. I want to thank all of you for being with us this week. I want to thank Dr. Julian Unger for inviting us into his home and to meet Rabbi Chaim Kramer, who is here from the Breslov Institute, the Research Institute in Jerusalem, Israel. And hope you'll be with us next week, same time, right here on Taped with Rabbi Doug. Shalom.